The crew, Dallas, aren't y'all too grown for this? Reality TV is entertaining because it shows messy friendships, dramatic arguments, and people calling each other out. But sometimes you watch an episode and think to yourself, wait, aren't these grown adults? That's exactly the feeling many viewers probably had while watching this episode of The Crew, Dallas. What started as an attempt to fix friendships quickly turned into gossip accusations, fake apologies, and a winery trip full of tension. Now don't get me wrong, drama is part of reality television. But when people start arguing like they're still in a high school lunchroom instead of a group of grown adults trying to build careers and relationships, you can't help but wonder. Are they too old to still be acting this way? Let's break down the episode. The apology tour begins. The episode begins with D'Angelo and Xavier sitting down to address their friendship problems. Right away, viewers can tell there has been tension between the two. The issue revolves around Xavier giving D'Angelo what he described as bad energy during a previous event. Now this is where maturity is supposed to come into play. When people get older, they usually learn how to communicate their feelings clearly instead of letting things simmer until they explode. To Xavier's credit, he did take accountability for his behavior and apologized. And surprisingly, the conversation didn't turn into a shouting match. D'Angelo accepted the apology, and the two decided to move forward. That moment showed that growth is possible when people are willing to be honest and own their mistakes. But unfortunately, the same maturity didn't show up in the next conversation. Michi and Gregory, when the drama won't die. Next came the attempt to fix the tension between Michi and Gregory. Their conflict goes back to a previous altercation at a club, and it's clear that neither one has fully let go of the situation. They sit down to talk, but instead of resolving anything, the conversation feels tense and uncomfortable. Eventually they agree to just be cordial. Now in real life, being cordial can be a healthy boundary. Not every disagreement has to end in friendship. But in this case, it felt more like two people refusing to actually deal with their issues. Michi walked away frustrated, and Gregory didn't seem very interested in fixing things either. Watching the scene made you think, if this situation happened months ago, why is it still this messy? At a certain age, most people realize that holding on to grudges only drains your energy. Yet here they are, still carrying the same tension like it just happened yesterday. The bone carrier accusation. Then things took a turn when Mo confronted Xavier. Mo accused Xavier of being what people call a bone carrier. For anyone unfamiliar with that phrase, a bone carrier is someone who carries gossip from one person to another, spreading information and stirring up drama. In many friend groups, this type of behavior causes the biggest problems because it destroys trust. Mo didn't just accuse Xavier of gossiping. He also brought up something even more uncomfortable: money and living arrangements. According to Mo, Xavier may have been dishonest about his financial situation while staying with him. Now once money enters an argument, things usually escalate quickly. What started as a conversation about gossip suddenly turned into a deeper discussion about honesty, loyalty, and personal responsibility. And again, it raises the same question. If these are grown adults trying to build careers and reputations, why are they still dealing with problems that feel like they belong in a college dorm argument? The winery trip that turned into chaos. Of course, no reality show episode is complete without a group outing. This time the cast decided to go on a winery trip. On paper, a winery sounds like the perfect place for a relaxing day: good scenery, good drinks, and good conversation. But on reality TV, group trips rarely stay peaceful. The moment everyone gathered together, the tension from earlier conversations followed them. Eventually Gregory confronted Xavier again, accusing him of giving a fake apology earlier. That accusation opened the door for everyone to start discussing accountability. Some people believed Xavier was trying to make things right. Others felt he was simply apologizing to avoid confrontation. Before long, the conversation turned into a group debate about gossip, loyalty, and whether people in the circle could actually trust each other. At that point, the winery trip stopped feeling like a fun outing and started looking more like a messy group intervention. When drama starts to look immature, there's nothing wrong with conflict. Disagreements happen in every friend group. But what stood out about this episode was how easily the conversation slipped into immature behavior. Instead of calmly addressing issues and moving forward, the group kept circling back to the same accusations. Who said what? Who told who? Who's fake? Who's loyal? Those kinds of arguments can drag on forever if people refuse to take real accountability. And for viewers watching at home, it raises an uncomfortable truth. At a certain age, people are expected to handle conflict differently. Not by spreading gossip, not by throwing accusations, but by communicating honestly and moving forward. Reality TV versus real life. Part of the reason this kind of drama continues is because reality television rewards messy behavior. Arguments create viral clips, confrontations create storylines, and gossip keeps viewers talking. But in real life, that kind of behavior can destroy friendships and reputations. Being labeled a gossip or a bone carrier is not something most adults want attached to their name. Trust is one of the hardest things to rebuild once it's broken. And if this group wants their friendships to survive beyond the cameras, they may need to start having deeper conversations about respect and boundaries. Final thoughts. This episode of The Crew, Dallas delivered exactly what reality TV promises: drama, tension, and uncomfortable confrontations. But it also served as a reminder that sometimes the biggest issue isn't just the conflict itself. It's how people choose to handle it. D'Angelo and Xavier showed that growth is possible when someone takes responsibility and apologizes sincerely. But other parts of the group still seem stuck in cycles of gossip and unresolved tension. At some point, everyone has to decide whether they want to keep repeating the same arguments or finally move forward. Because while drama may make good television, being too old to still act messy is a reality nobody wants to admit.